Hello, my name is Marian Abdi, a former graduate of Senn High School, class of 2017. I'm currently attending Concordia University, Chicago, and you're watching Senn TV.
Directly from Senn High School Studio 231, this is Senn TV Season 3. Starring Cassandra Cabrera, Cameron Fleeman, Hassan Gordon, Kendall Jackson Jr., Philip Johnson White, Bill Siddiqui, Paula Trejo, Kayla Williams, and featuring the members of our broadcast journalism wonders. In this episode, we'll take a look at a tribute to Megan Dunn, sensational stories featuring Miss Carvalho, a new science teacher, a new segment named Sensational Shoutouts, and many other stories. Now, here are our anchors, Nabil Siddiqui,
Microphone's on.
Kendall
Camera's
Jackson.
Ready? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Action!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Senn TV. I'm your anchor, Kendall Jackson Jr.
Don't forget about me. I'm also your anchor, Nabil, the real deal. Siddiqui, we have a jam-packed episode for you today.
Alright, before we get started into some of our sensational stories, let's take a quick time to talk about the general announcements for the week. Great job Senn students and staff on the first annual Senntoberfest. We had over 100 student volunteers and a significant portion of the faculty attending, along with a special ribbon cutting appearance from Rahm Emanuel. Homecoming week is in full effect. We've already had 2 sensational days with Pajama Day and Twin Day. Here are the following remaining themes for the week. Wednesday is Superhero Day, Thursday is School Spirit, and Friday is Decade Day. The actual homecoming game will be Thursday at Lane Stadium versus Amundsen. Tickets for the game is $5, available during your lunch periods. Friday will also be the homecoming dance. You can buy tickets before the dance during your lunch periods for $12 and $15 at the night of the dance. All attendees of any Spirit Week activities will be administered a wristband to show that I paid for said event. You are responsible for the wristband, so please keep up with it.
Homecoming is all fun and games, but Bulldogs, make sure you check your grades daily as the end of the first quarter is approaching soon, and Parent-Teacher Conference is November 16th. Following the end of the quarter on November 2nd, there will be a School Improvement Day, which means no school for students, but school for teachers. It's snoozy-lose.
Senn will host an IB info session and open house on Saturday, November 4th, so be sure to tell all potential future Bulldogs to come by the info session from 9 to 10:30 and the open house from 10:30 to 12.
Congratulations to Mr. Galligan and Mr. Lev, who ran the Chicago Marathon last week. We at Senn TV are very proud of them. Let's hear from them about their experience.
So I felt like that took a lot out of me. Getting old.
Learned that the mind has to be more powerful than the body.
Congrats to the Senn students on obtaining the highest school attendance rate in our school network. We look forward to seeing how your increased attendance translates to your grades and PSAT scores.
In a more somber note, we'd like to take time and celebrate the life of Megan Dunn. 1 month after her passing, the Senn community is still in grief over the loss of a very kind and touching soul.
They say grief often brings people together, and that has proven very true in the halls of Senn High School. Classmates, friends, and teachers who knew Megan have come together to create a piece of art in her memory.
We here at Senn TV decided to play a part in remembering Megan's life. Our very own Cameron Fleeman made an amazing tribute piece, including the people who cared about Megan the most. Let's take a look.
Heated HD 1080. Oh, you're gonna say it for me? Yeah, I don't know what the
Smart.
Goofy.
And she was just
a great, smart person.
Caring person, a person who's always there for you, and a person who would make you happy, even on your worst of days.
Wonderful.
Bright. Strong.
Passionate.
Really artistic. Dedication.
Nerdy.
Amazing. Her style. She either wore like stripes, a striped shirt. She loves stripes. And when she was like more of a relaxed day, more of a lazy day, she wore complete sweats. Her Michigan sweatshirt. She always had her hair in a bun and always had a Starbucks coffee.
I would describe her as just happiness. Just no matter how sad she was, no matter how hard life was on her, she would always have a smile on her face, no matter what.
I would say she was really hilarious, and she would always make if there was something boring, she would just make it fun, for herself and for everyone else around her.
Megan was a person who you couldn't get mad at. Even if she tried to get you mad, you couldn't get mad at her.
I would describe her as cheerful, confident, and strong.
Megan, she's a very funny person. She's a light in everyone's world. She always made people laugh. She's compassionate about what she does, and she's an all-around kind person.
Megan's a really nice person. I don't think you'll ever see her sad and all that, and she just loves making people laugh.
Megan is fun to be around, and she's always creative. And she will forever be full of life. She was really prepared and determined, just really delicate.
Very open-minded and very talkative, and loves to see people enjoy themselves, and also loves to talk about animals and her interests.
The glasses she always wear, and then the striped shirt, because she always wears that all the time.
I think making the whole class listen to Hamilton every single day, which I secretly loved.
I'll always remember Megan by her Starbucks coffee and by her way of being all cringy, because she was always cringy with her dancing and with her singing, but we still loved her for that.
I would say think of the best person you know and then multiply that person by 10 times.
I always remember her by, there was this one day I was really, really sad, and she was just happy. It was just her happiness. She was just great. She was just a great person.
Her joyfulness all the time, she was always in such a good mood, and also her stripes, because she always wore stripes all the time.
I would always remember her by her glasses and the way she would always laugh and make people laugh or sing in class.
A memory I have of her is that she would whenever we would pass each other in the hall, she would always mess up my hair because she hated it when I tried to do it a certain way, and then she would I don't know, she would always mess with my appearance, and I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny. So
I'll always remember her by whenever we're walking, she used to pull on people's shirts until it actually goes all the way down to your elbow.
I'll always remember her by how she always wanted to succeed in life and go to Harvard and get scholarships, and how she really enjoyed art, but she really wanted to focus on her career for education.
One thing I would say to you, Megan, is thank you.
One thing I would say to you, Megan, is that you're the best person that there ever was. Love you.
I just want to thank Megan for everything. Every talk and every time you smiled, every smile you gave me in the hallway, it meant a lot. It meant a lot that not everyone was so rude and cruel in the world.
Stay.
I haven't seen in a while.
What?
Sensational Stories.
Funny that you mentioned that. Sensational Stories is making its long-awaited return this episode. For those who don't know, Sensational Stories is a segment dedicated to profile pieces about our fellow Bulldogs, teachers, and staff.
For this episode of Sensational Stories, Kendall and I decided to interview new science teacher Marina Carvalho. Let's take a look.
My name is Marina Carvalho. I teach biology and chemistry, and this is Sensational Stories. I was born and raised in Brazil. I grew up there until I was 24 or 5, 24, yeah. I have 2 older sisters. I'm actually the baby in my family. I'm much younger than my sisters, 7 and 8 years. They're 7 and 8 years older than me. My mom, she's an architect, and my father is an engineer. So my parents always taught me and my sisters, to be sure that we are always giving back and make whatever we're able to give back to society, and do whatever we can to change it. And teaching was a way I found to give back and to help people. So in Brazil, we have this huge test, similar to the SAT here, that we have to take before entering college. We have to pass it in order to get into college. So I studied for 2 years before I actually got into college after graduating high school. I got into a very good university in Brazil to study biology. Definitely coming from schools that are very homogeneous. Is that a word? to here, especially here in Chicago, where we have kids, and especially here at Senn, where we have kids from all over the world and different races, different ethnicities. It's definitely a huge change. So in Brazil, we're not used to all this diversity, which is great. I love it. And it's definitely a change from Brazil to Chicago. So now you can follow instructions on your sheet, okay? They're also saying click on Tools on the very upper right corner and select the little balance. And then you're just gonna follow the instructions on your sheet, okay? So the introduction. So I love the diversity of students. I love that it's a huge school and it's a huge community. I love the Sensational project. I think it's really teaching kids, how to be better human beings and better students. Yeah, it's been a great year so far, great month. I think being from Brazil and being from another country, it really it changes your perspective. I always try to make sure to add, how different cultures see certain subjects and how stuff works on other parts of the world. I've also lived abroad in Europe for a while, so I also try to incorporate that. We have so many cultures that see things and do things so differently. So whenever I'm doing lesson plans, I try to, as much as I can, I try to incorporate different points of view. Being a science teacher, I really like students to really incorporate that curious mindset. I think the world is full of surprises. There's so much we don't know about it. There's so much we can wonder about it and ask questions about it and find out how stuff works. So I think being from science, what I really want is students to be more curious. So I think for this year, my teaching is going to be a huge lesson for me, like a huge classroom for myself.
It's crazy that she's come all the way from South America and is now teaching in North America.
It's funny that you mentioned South America. For some of you that don't know, September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month, in which we celebrate and honor all Hispanics around the country. Our very own Cassandra Cabrera has done an investigative report on what people have to say about it.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Cassandra here again, and today we're going to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month. At first, it only started off as a week of celebrating in 1968, but later was expanded off into a full month by President Ronald Reagan in 1988. It's celebrated every September 15 through October 15. It's the month where people recognize the contributions and importance of Hispanic and Latino Americans in America. Let's hear from some of our fellow peers on their insight of what this month means to them.
It means history for not just me, but for my community and family as well.
Hispanic Heritage Month is when we celebrate Hispanics, obviously, but it's, I think it's more of celebrating the culture, the music, everything that's been brought to the United States, and everything that's been shared with everyone who's not Hispanic, like the food, music, clothes, stories as well.
To me, it's like a time where like everyone can like come and embrace the Hispanic culture and share like the customs we have with people that are here in America that probably don't know much about it. So during that month, we could like embrace it and sort of show a little bit of a culture to everyone and expose them more to it than what they already know. I share like music that I like that's in Spanish, or try to like make them understand more about the culture. And like sometimes if I have candy that's from Mexico, I'll try to share with them and try for them to like try to embrace the culture too and understand it a bit more.
Para mí significa la posibilidad que tienen los estudiantes de conocer nuestras raíces, nuestros orígenes y cómo compartir, cómo disfrutar de nuestro folklore y origen hispano.
I'm supposed to do a shout out? I'm gonna do a shout out.
No, you do the shout out.
You're smarter.
Nope, you got 2 IB classes.
That don't matter, you do it.
Come on, no.
Alright, let's just stop all this bickering and give it to the people that actually know what they're doing.
I would like to give a sensational shout out to a particular staff member who has had my back since the day I walked through the doors at Senn. This person most recently has really helped me as I've taken on a new role here at Senn, and that person is the amazing, wonderful Miss Powitz.
My shout out is to a senior girl that I've known since she was a freshman, and I'm so proud of her for making it to her senior year and being successful, and she's going to graduate and eventually go on to college. And she worked really hard with me all these years, and she has good jobs, and she's able to get her jobs, and she's just very reliable young lady. And my shout out goes to Miss Nia Jackson.
This person is my favorite teacher. She helps me a lot out in class, and I could really connect with her. Shout out to Miss Kobayashi. So this goes to all of those who have poured their hearts, time, energy, efforts, and a lot of them even their tears into their writing. Writing is a long, hard process, and this shout out goes to all of those who are kind of in the thick of that process, immersed in the process, writing, rewriting, revising, rewriting again, starting from scratch, but staying true to that process to create, hopefully, what is a solid personal essay. So this shout out goes to all of my seniors in senior seminar.
And lastly, my sensational shout out goes to the class of 2018, mainly because I feel like we've all worked hard as a class, and although maybe all of us are not going to college, I know that most of us will, and I know that a lot of us are going to make big things out of our future. So.
Because this is our homecoming week episode, we're going to focus a little more on sports than we normally do. So let's turn it over to the man, the myth,
Dr.
Philip
Johnson
White for his weekly dose of all the sports you need.
Yo, what's good, Senn TV? My name is Philip Johnson White, and I'm back again with your weekly sports report. The Senn TV crew is always expanding, and that's always made my job even more enjoyable. I'm an avid fan of sports, but so is this other guy. His name is Syed Muhammad, Supreme Lover of all things Boston.
And the only
he
thing
had
I
an
told
interview
them
with Coach
is,
Fisher of the football team.
know what you're doing.
You know how kneeling in the NFL is a hot topic
know what it
nowadays.
means.
So you ask
And,
someone close to the subject explain his
if you,
feelings on the matter.
Don't
Let's
just
cut
do
to
it
him now.
because.
So kneeling during the national anthem, how do you feel about it, Mr. Fisher?
I think it's an interesting. It's an interesting thing that the players are doing. They're really taking control over how they look in the media, and I think it's an interesting way for them to express themselves in a way they haven't been able to do in the past.
So you're the head coach of the Senn varsity football team. If one of your players were to kneel during that national anthem, what would you do? Would you give them a talk?
Actually, we've already had several players kneel during the national anthem, and the only thing I've told them is know what you're doing, know what it means, and if you don't just do it because your favorite player is doing it, do it because you're really trying to say something.
Well, that was a more eloquent way of giving his thoughts on the issue. Maybe our president is to take notes from this man standing being a big baby with Twitter fingers. Anyways, on to the next. Cub fever is back again, but it could be on the verge of hibernation. They're going against the Los Angeles Dodgers and are down 2-0, but they will be playing tonight at Wrigley. Now, I don't know what they're going to do tonight, but let's hope they actually get a win. Patrick Williams, along with camera work from Amber Newsom, went down to lunch asking people their opinions on if the Cubs will repeat what they did last year.
Hi, I'm Patrick Williams with Senn TV, and today I'll be interviewing people on whether the Cubs will repeat this year. Today we are playing Game 5 against the Nationals, and it's been a tough series so far. We're tied 2-2. So my question to you is, do you think the Cubs will be able to repeat? Although today we're playing Game 5, but do you think we'll be able to repeat?
So I'm hoping that they will be able to, but it's kind of hard to come back from that grand slam from yesterday. So, yeah, I have hope. We should all have hope, but it might not happen. So, I'm hoping it will, though.
I think so. But, like, since the loss from yesterday, there might be a do-or-die chance that they're going to make it. But I do think that they're still going to survive, make it into the World Series again.
I think they are going to repeat because I feel like this year they're the underdogs, and like people are they're just viewing the Cubs as underrated, and they just hate them. So we're just gonna beat them.
Do you believe that the Cubs will be able to repeat again this year?
No. Yes. What y'all talking about? Yes. Go Sox. You goofy boy. Hey, Rizzo.
No. Yeah, they're going to repeat.
No, I do not believe the Cubs are going to repeat.
Can we bet money on that? Can we bet money on that? Can we bet money on that? Can we bet money? 10? 10 that they don't win. 15. I bet 10. I bet 10. 10. 10. They're not going to win. 10. They're going to win.
Yeah, they lost. No gambling allowed.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent piece by our Broadcast One affiliates. Now, let's not forget about the cheerleading team and what they're going to do in the pep rally. Let's cut to a quick interview.
And what is a basket toss?
So I think Sarah can explain it better because she is the person who holds the feet. I'm just the person who catches them.
So a basket toss is basically where there are two bases and each base grabs one of their wrists and then they grab the other base's wrist. And what you're gonna do, and then basically what you're gonna do, there's a count and you're gonna bend down like this while the flyer is gonna jump in and put their feet on top of your hands, and then there's a 1-2 count, and after that you bend down and throw it all the way up to where they go up, and then you bring them down and you catch them.
As a cheerleader myself, I know that there's a lot of negative comments about cheerleading. Can you tell me about some of the difficulties of being a cheerleader?
Yeah, for sure. Cheerleading is actually one of the most dangerous sports in the sports category. So when people say that it's a very easy sport, they really have no idea what they're talking about, because cheerleading is a lot of work and it is very difficult to maintain and stay in shape for cheer.
Also, with cheer, you need to have a really good balance. You need to have strong arms. You need to get those squats in to plie and lift people, bend your legs and lift people. Also, we have to warm up our bodies really well. We do runs around the school, runs around laps, and you have to be warm so you don't injure yourself, because there are many injuries we've had, like with our wrists and with our feet, and just people, trying a new thing and hurting themselves. So it's a challenge and it's dangerous, but it's totally worth it in the end.
Okay, so we all know pep rally's coming up, and as always, everyone's excited to see Senn Cheerleader's performance. Can you tell me a little bit about the performance?
Well, it's different this year. I think it's going to be like really, really interesting since it's something new. So I'm kind of looking forward to what everyone has to say about that.
Yeah, also, we're bringing in a spooky factor because it's Halloween. It's closer to Halloween this year, so we're trying to incorporate, that theme of Halloween.
Alright, that's all we have for sports today. Once again, great job by everyone here at Senn TV. And it has been Philip Johnson White of Wiedersehen in meinem Volk. Or that means, I'll see you guys later in German.
Alright, thank you guys for watching our episode. My name is Kendall Jackson Jr.
And my name is Nabil Siddiqui.
And we're out.
Hey, gentlemen. Pop a squat here. Sit back down. I think y'all know what we need to say here. Toots!
Toots.
Mug!
Toots.
Scoots!
Falling in my skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What is wrong with you?
Alright. The only other thing, Sam, did you have it going the whole time?
We ain't got time for that,
Go.
Just go.
Everybody good?
Say that she has come from all the way from South America. How is that too much? You just go into what you're gonna say.
Chill on that, just wait on it, wait on it. Wait on it real quick. Hey Philip, what? I just throw it at me. No, not like that. I'm finna look at the camera and
Actually,
then
I was just being. Alright, ready?
You said that wasn't even my best shot.
You ready?
what? I gotta do a shout out? I don't wanna do a shout out.
Nope, not me.
You're intelligent, you should do it.
No, you got 2 IPs.
That doesn't matter.
No, you gotta do it.
Alright, yeah, let's just stop all this bickering and give it to the people who actually know what they're doing. I'm sweating. I'm like,
Come on.
Alright, well that's...
Speed it up. You already coming into the outro drive. Along with a special rubbin.
Yep, put yourself in the Man, I wish I had to do those eyebrows.
I hope that's in our bloopers.
Your eyebrows look like how mine are filling.